What's up, Jay LeBlanc here, wedding photographer and photography educator. Adobe just did an update to Lightroom, and it brings some pretty cool new features. Some that aren't so practical, and others that are pretty cool, and I could definitely see myself using in the near future. Stick around to the end, and I'll show you another addition that Adobe snuck in there, and it's something I don't think anybody was asking for, but it'll definitely be welcomed for people who are using Lightroom on a regular basis, especially those photographers who have accumulated a lot of presets over time. Don't forget to check out my other video linked below where I highlight another one of the additions Adobe added to this new Lightroom update that I don't love. I'm sorry, I don't like it at all. It's terrible. Well, after this video, then go watch that video. It'll be down below and you can just click it later when you're done. I'm not going to pop it up all over the screen. All right, here we are inside of Lightroom 13, and I'm going to start with what I think is probably the newest feature that I'm going to use the most often. Over here, we have a little bit of a change to our color mixer. We have our traditional mixer that you know and love with the hue, saturation, luminance. Maybe yours is set up a little bit differently, however you have it. Some people like it like this. Whatever, you get the point. But the new addition comes right here with our point color is already a better way of doing things than the old style with just all those sliders. The old style, what we would do is we would come either to the hue, saturation, or luminance, and if we want to adjust one of the colors, let's say the grass, maybe we want to adjust the hue of the grass, we'd click on our little eyedropper and we'd pick an area and click on it and scrub up and down, and the sliders would move. You'd see the sliders that correspond to the colors that are there, but it doesn't necessarily give you a ton of control. And then if you wanted to adjust the saturation, you have to go click the eyedropper for the saturation and do the same thing and hope that you're clicking on a blade of grass that has a similar color to the one that you clicked on for hue. But what I like now is the way Lightroom is doing things with this point color. So we'll click on point color and it really gives you no options because the first step you have to do is click on the eyedropper and select the area that we want to adjust. So I'm going to stick with this blade of grass. I'm pretty sure that was the same one I clicked on last time. And it starts off by giving you this swatch. And it gives you this gradient of color here. You can click these little markers and drag them around and change different things, but I'm going to just skip past that for now and go right down to where we have hue shift, saturation shift, and luminance shift. Unlike before where we had to click with our little eyedropper and scrub up and down for hue, saturation, and luminance independently, now it's just one click and we have all these adjustments right here. If we want to take the grass and maybe shift a little bit more orange, we can do so. And then if I want to maybe desaturate it a little bit and maybe I want to brighten it up or darken it down, we're going to darken it down just a tad here. Sure, that looks exactly like the grass that was there that day. And now maybe we want to go and make some additional adjustments to, let's say, their skin tones. So we're going to go here, click on their skin tones. Now we have these options for adjusting our hue, our saturation, and our luminance. And if you notice, so I'm going to just make a couple quick changes here. I'm not saying it's anything good. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. And maybe let's adjust one more color. Let's say this purple right here. We're going to adjust that a little bit. We want it to be more pink and we want it to be super saturated and a little bit brighter. So now if you notice, we have all of these swatches right here that we could go back to and reference at any point and make further adjustments. So if I decide, hey, my grass is a little too dark, I could come back here to the swatch that I clicked on for the grass, and we can go ahead and just brighten it up. And then right below that, we have this other tool called range, which allows us to show how much of that color is being affected. It kind of expands the area that's being affected by these adjustments that you're making. And we have a little drop down arrow here where we can really refine it. We can say we want the hue range to be more, but we want to saturate a little less of that range. We can make adjustments here by dragging these sliders around, and maybe we want to really affect the luminance by making it the full spectrum of that color. And then we have this little option right here to visualize range to really see what's being affected. So we can see as we shift this box around, if you pay attention to the grass out here in the field behind the bride and groom, you can see how it's going from not being affected at all. As I pull up this slider and increase the range, is bringing in some of the greens that are out here in this field because they're a little bit different than the greens that are here in the foreground. And same goes for the skin. We're visualizing the range here. So maybe our hue, we want to affect more of the skin tones. Maybe the couple have slightly different skin tones and we want to make sure that we're affecting both of their skin tones. So we're going to increase our range here a little bit so we are affecting them both evenly. And if you look, if we go back to Mixer, none of these adjustments have changed. So it still gives you the option of going in here and fine tuning things as you would previously. I think this is a pretty powerful tool, and I really love the option of having a way of refining the colors a little bit differently than we have in the past. And I could definitely see myself using this. What do you think? Do you think this is a good change, a bad change, or just more added bloatware to Lightroom? I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to delete all these swatches that I just made so we have the original image straight out of camera. And I'm going to show you one other pretty cool addition that Lightroom has added that I don't think anybody was asking for, but it is a fantastic addition in my opinion. Check it out right over here underneath our presets. There's an option to now search for some of your presets. I don't know about you, but I have a ton of presets and I find myself constantly hiding old ones and deleting them, and things get moved around once in a while, and sometimes you misplace it. You don't know which folder it's under. Now we have this really cool option where we can just search. I know I want to use one of my presets that's 4.3. Type in 4.3. Boom, that's simple. I don't have to go looking through a bunch of different folders to try and find my preset. If I want to use one of my presets that's 5.0, just like that, quick, simple. I don't have to go looking around too much to see where my presets are, and I could just type it in now and find them so much quicker. So what do you think? Couple new updates to Lightroom 13. I'm a big fan of these two. There's some other ones that, yeah, Adobe might want to rethink. I have a video linked below. You can go check it out for yourself of my opinion of the addition of the lens blur. That one needs to go back to the testing room. Let's just remove that from Lightroom. Get rid of it. Speed Lightroom up a little bit. I really think as a photographer, that's what most people just want. They just want Lightroom to be faster, but some of these new additions are very welcomed, and I look forward to using them. But the lens blur, let's rethink that one. Let me know what you think. Have you installed Lightroom 13 yet? Do you like some of these updates? Do you see yourself using them? Or are you just going to wait for the next update and then install this one when it's a little bit more stable?